Welcome back to the next episode of Why Are People Like This? Happy Thursday. We're going to talk about the stress response. So, in order to understand why people are peopling, we need to understand what's actually happening to the people before we can fix it. So, and we're the people, okay? Me included. So, the first thing we need to understand is that we need to have some kind of stimulus, right? This can be external, like the news or social media or the fight with your spouse. This could be internal, so it could be hormones. Welcome to perimenopause, or your internal dialogue, whatever, okay? You get a stimulus. This goes to your nervous system. And your nervous system goes, we need to pay attention, right? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Okay? Now, stage 3 is important. This is the thalamus. And in this stage, you have either a slow track or a fast track. The slow track's going to go to your cortex, right? The fast track is going to go to your amygdala. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. I was like, how do I spell amygdala? All right, so you have your amygdala, right? This is your fast track. And this is where your history is going to come in, previous trauma. This asks the question, is this dangerous? Is it uncertain? Have I ever come across this before? This is where that happens, okay? So your amygdala is a very important part of the process, I guess is my point. So then the next place it's going to go, this stress response, is going to go to your hypothalamus. And that is the H in HPA, right? This is where your HPA axis comes in, right? That's the sympathetic system, right? This is the actual part of the stress response where you get your body state shift. So this comes in to our next stage, which is where the body state shifts, right? The body state shifts. This is where everything actually starts to occur. Your blood shunts from your digestive tract and your respiratory tract, not your respiratory tract, but your reproductive tract, your urinary tract. All the blood goes from there to the organs that are going to help you survive. And this drives your story because the next stage is where your prefrontal cortex goes offline, right? This is where we lose nuance. This is where we start to get into black and white thinking. This is where we start to lose certain, we become more certain and we lose accuracy. That happens here, okay? Then is stage 8, where you have a narrative that comes into play. This is your brain that says, I'm being attacked. I need to do something about this, right? That's the narrative. Then you have stage 9, which is the behavior, right? This is where you start running or fighting or freezing. You conserve energy. I can't do anything about this, so I'm just going to shut down for right now. Okay? So this is what you're looking at for the actual stress response. Now, what's happening is the stimuli that we have all of the time. If you live in a big city, that's sirens, that's dogs barking, that's traffic, that's all of these things, right? You have all of that going on. That's all stimuli. It's happening all the time, and your nervous system is always saying, something's wrong. Pay attention. Pay attention because we got something wrong. We don't necessarily have anything wrong, but our nervous system is so old that it's running on the wrong software and it can't upload any new apps. Okay? So then we're constantly in this loop. And this part right here, because of our body state, is constantly saying, I need to fight this. I need to run away from this. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, depending on you and the state, right? Like, this is not all just polyvagal theory. The amygdala here and what our histories are is really it's very important. This is not as simple as, right? But this is a part of it that really needs to be paid attention to. And it's not getting enough attention. So, we need to cut it right around there. And there's things we can do. There's interventions that we can do. We can start talking nervous system talk and be like, nope, nothing's wrong. That smoke that you're picking up, that's just the toast in the toaster. That's not the whole house burning down. And then it goes to, we can do things about this. But here's the kicker. We need to do something about it fast. Because what's happening in society is happening because of things that are in this chart. And the situation is getting exponentially worse very rapidly. And so we need to start an intervention like yesterday. And I'm hoping that we can start making sense of this and get things moving a little bit better. But we need to understand what's actually happening, and that this part right here is dictating the rest of this part right there. And the other part of this is that we just have all nonstop stimuli all of the time. So that's the first part. We got to break it down. And the next one, we're going to start talking probably about interventions and what we're talking about with, how to speak safety to ourselves so that we can start holding some nuance and we can start having some difficult conversations, because we really need to have them, rather than everything being an attack and everything being an argument, and that, everything is an injustice and life is not fair and all of these things. We need to start talking about it. Okay. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for bearing with me.